no-losey energy drink. Yeah, it's that good.
The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
Hey, Atlas.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining us.
what's going on, everybody?
Looking good there, T. You look good, brother. Is that it?
Not bad for 100.
Not bad for 100.
No.
For 100.
But I was listening to y'all at the beginning of your commentary there about some of the stuff going on in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
In the early 80s, Vince McMahon Sr. gave me the world. Captain Lou Albano came up to me and said, Tony, they're going to go all the way with you. All the way. The only person that could hurt Tony Atlas is Tony Atlas. Well, I had this girl down in Los Angeles, California. And I kept talking to her and kept talking to her family. I couldn't take no more. I hopped an airplane and I went to Los Angeles, California to be with this girl. I figured I'm a big star. They bring me back. And they did. That same night, we spoke to me and S.D. Jones. Rocket Johnson was not in the territory then. It was me and S.D. Jones, especially Libby Jones. And we just worked an angle with Saito and Mr. Fuji. And they was the WWE World Tag Team Champion at the time. Well, I got a little hair up my butt, and I decided I'm going to skip out on it. That was the same night that they were going to put the belt on me and S.D. Jones. And that was one of the reasons why I asked S.D. Jones to induct me in the Hall of Fame to pay him back. Because I always felt that I owe S.D. And if y'all listen to S.D. Jones when he do my Hall of Fame introduction, he speaks on that. He said they kicked him to the curb and they put Rocket Johnson in his place, which is a true story. I say that to say this. Sometime in the wrestling world, we get what you call the big head. And we start believing our own publicity. Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch had one hell of a opportunity. They would be nowhere without the WWE. I would be nowhere if it wasn't for the WWF, NWA, and all the people that helped me. I wrote in my book, my success in life, I owe to thousands and thousands of people my success. My failure, I only owe to myself. It may not hurt Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch for what they did now. Down the road, when they get old and gray like me, they're going to look back on that. And the first thing they're going to say, what a freaking idiot. Plain and simple. There's so many people laying up in this world. I worked independent circuit a lot. And there's so many independent wrestlers that would love that opportunity. And we don't got to the place that we got a good opportunity. People treat us right. And my mom said, you never bite the hand that feeds you. Vince McMahon made Sasha Banks what she is. He made Becky Lynch what she's in. They owe Vince McMahon a great deal of gratitude. In the world of wrestling, I know people talk about the new group, the AEW, TNA, and tell you wrestle for the WWE, you're not in the business. You're really not. Every great name that is out here in the wrestling world came from WWE. That is the bedrock of pro wrestling. Vince McMahon, good or bad, saved the wrestling business. There was no way the wrestling business could have continued the way it was. So he created a way where he could keep wrestling going, and not only keep wrestling going, but put it in a position where we could compete against other major sports.
Sure.
We could compete against football. We could compete against basketball. We compete against baseball. And we never had the opportunity before, but I'm Vince McMahon. Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch, if what y'all say is true, and I'm not criticizing them, that's why I told what I did first. They made the same mistake that I did. Now, Sasha Banks done that one time before, and they excused her. Well, I did it one time before, and they excused me. But the second time, when George Scott became the booker of the was WWF there, and sent me to California for 4 shows, and I made one out of 4.
Oh, boy.
They couldn't handle that no more.
Right.
So eventually, she's going to hurt her own career. Because even if she go with AEW going to be afraid of her because they're going to say, well, she might do the same thing to us.
Right.
You know, if you see a dog bite somebody for trying to pat him on the head, and then you try to pat him on the head again, dog bite you again, I don't think you're going to try that third time to pat that dog on the head anymore.
Nope.
And I don't think Vince is going to pat that dog on the head no more.
Right.
So sometime in our life, we have to be more appreciative. I mean, Vince made them two the hottest women stars in the world. My favorite of all the women wrestlers is Charlotte Flair. I think she's the most outstanding athlete. And I knew her father. I worked with her father. I always think that Ric Flair was one of the best entertaining wrestlers that I was seeing in his heyday. I thought that Ric Flair was absolutely phenomenal in his heyday.
Yep.
And I think his daughter is a chip off the old block.
Agreed.
But for you to bite the hand that feeds you, eventually it'll come back around.
Yep.
And when you leave the WWF, you don't move up the ladder, you move down the ladder. Because it's the biggest, best organization in the world. How many female wrestlers out there you think would love to get that opportunity?
Countless.
Nobody in the WWE except for Vince McMahon and The Office is going to miss Becky Lynch. The fans will forget about her 1 month after she's gone. Because they love wrestling. And if you're not on stage, they're going to watch the wrestling. They're not going to stop watching Vince because Becky Lynch is not on the show.
Here today, gone
They
tomorrow.
didn't stop watching wrestling when Hogan was no longer part of the roster. When Stone Cold left, he was no part of the wrestling. People still watch wrestling. They like wrestling. So the only person that Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks is hurting is themselves. Self-inflicted wounds.
Why do you think Naomi would have made this decision with Sasha? Naomi is, of course, in the family. She's married to an Uso.
Like I said, you get the big head. I had the big head. You know, a lot of air been let out over the years, but I had the big head. You know, I thought the bubble would never burst. You started believing your own publicity. Now, and you forget, like Vince Jr., he probably don't remember this, but he told me something one time. It's funny now. At the time, was it funny? He said, Tony Atlas, your only problem was you forgot who owned the company. If somebody give you an opportunity to make a success in this world, whereas machine had took the place of a lot of human employment, and jobs are scarce, and prices are high. Gas is $4 a gallon. Rent is $12,000-$15,000 a year for rent. School is expensive. Everything, we live in inflation. Now think about how smart it is for a person to quit their job during an inflation. That ain't too smart.
Not really, no.
You know, people are struggling to make ends meet right now. And these folks got a job that well, you make a lot of money. Sasha Banks probably make more money in 1 month than I make in a year.
Yep.
And most people make in a year, she make that in 1 month. She's on television. She don't have to get her hands dirty. In fact, when you look at the life of a wrestler, we work, actually physical work, not counting the traveling. The traveling is the bulk of our job. But when she's in the ring, she do 10 minutes in the ring. And make thousands of dollars for 10 minutes of her time.
Right.
For minutes, not even an hour. Right. Ric Flair wrestled an hour before, but Sasha Banks never wrestled for a full hour. Ric Flair did it. Harley Race did it. Now, how many people in this world, Martin Farrell fans, would love to have a job that would pay you thousands of dollars for minutes of your time. Sell your merchandise and give you a royalty check afterwards.
Right.
Put you on television, put you in movies, and make you a household name. And then you turn around and say, up yours, buddy.
Yep.
I done that.
Sounds like somebody
I
made a
suffer
mistake.
for it now.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I didn't think much of it at the time.
Yep.
But now when I look back on it,
Understood.
Tony Atlas, well, I ain't changed that much. I changed a little bit, but not that much. Tony Atlas was dumber than whale shit.
So, Tony, no stranger to you. We just mentioned CM Punk also, who's now in AEW. He's now starting to use... You're political. We talk about politics all the time.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about a wrestler coming out against abortion, wearing a T-shirt during a wrestling program?
event? Is there a place
He
for
said
that?
he's for it or against it.
Well, either way, he's
Either
making
way.
a statement during a wrestling show. Is there a place for that in pro wrestling?
And he's for it, by the way. But regardless, he's wearing a shirt on national television. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm not for abortion, but I'm not a woman. But if my daughter should get raped or have incest, I would not want my daughter to raise a child that was the product of a rape or incest.
Do you feel CM Punk is like pushing
I
a little
think
bit?
CM Punk and Tony Atlas and every person that cannot get pregnant to stay out of it. I think that they should do a thing where all the women vote on it, and in between her and God. Like I said, if I was a woman, I wouldn't do it. My mother had 9 kids. One of the things that people should look at, instead of always talking about abortion, it's no woman on this earth had ever, except for Mary, that made a baby without a man. So the man is just as much involved in that child life. And most times the woman that get the abortion, the man the one that pays for it. So I think that men that want to be promiscuous, like I used to be, I've stopped being promiscuous because things don't function like they used to. So that's the only thing that cut me out. I mean, the women's got tired of me giving them 30 seconds of love making, you know? And that the whole 30 seconds, that's getting dressed, doing it, and putting the clothes back. But
Damn,
anyway,
Tony. Damn,
I
Tony.
think men should concentrate more that they should promote vasectomy. Because the vasectomy is short, it's easy, you can do all you want to do, and it's reversible. Even with a woman having a baby, she's taking a risk of hurting herself.
Right.
And if she have a child, she's taking a risk of hurting herself. So if more men would think on the term of getting a vasectomy, if you want to be promiscuous, or use a condom. But I'm for one, I would not want my daughter to be aborted, and I would not want my child to be aborted. If the woman don't want my child, give it to me. I raise it. But like I say, I'm not a woman, and I think it's more that the women of America should get together and make a decision on what they think that should be.
Very interesting.
For CM Punk or Tony Atlas or any man to talk about what a woman should do with her body.
Yeah.
You know, after a while, you're going to tell a woman she can't drink milk on a Sunday.
By the way, Donna Barber says Sasha Banks will make a lot more money when OnlyFans comes knocking on her door.
OnlyFans.
They make lots of money with
They
that.
do.
She
That
made a
they
lot
do.
of money.
That they do. Tony,
And then plus, what she did in the WWE, she's going to be able to make money after her time in the WWE.
Right.
Can you imagine all the
Sure.
events that going to book
Sure.
her and do like
Absolutely.
that? But if you get a reputation, like the one thing about me and everybody that work with me, Marty, and everybody that work with me know about me, there's 2 things that Tony Atlas hate. I hate being late. I hate missing a show. If Marty was going to book me, I'm going to call Marty every day so I get all the information I need because I don't want to mess him up. He put a lot of time, effort, and money in the Marty and Farrell broadcast. And I feel that it's an absolute honor. It's an honor for me, Tommy Wildfire Rich, or any wrestler to get this opportunity to be on the Monty and Pharaoh show.
Thank
What? Yeah. No, I'm behaving myself. No, I'm not playing in abandoned buildings. What? Again? Now, I suppose you had those people follow me again. Fine. Hey, this is Jimmy Farrow from Monty and the Pharaoh, and I want to thank all our subscribers. We have now passed 14,000 on our YouTube channel. But I want to ask our subscribers to take the next step for us and become a full-fledged member of Monty and the Pharaoh. Yeah, that's right, folks. There's 3 different levels to choose from. There's free shirts. There's free autographs. Just check it out and become a member of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh. Later.